Hi guys, this episode brought to you by Scottish Grappling. Scottish Grappling doing events throughout Scotland throughout the year. Next event is going to be SGI 7. SGI 7 is going to be held in the usual place in Maryhill Community Centre on Saturday the 14th of March. Event kicks off around about 4:30, runs till obviously finish, but usually around about 10 o'clock. Tickets are available on the Eventbrite website, which you can get the link through the Scottish Grappling page. So promises to be obviously a good night. We've got the under 75 tournament that's going to be going on, and it looks like a stacked card at the moment. Obviously a lot of big names on there, a lot of familiar names. So yeah, promises to be a fantastic event. So yeah, keep an eye out for obviously updates for that through the Scottish Grappling page. Next competition event is going to be the Glasgow BJJ Open. Glasgow BJJ Open will be held on the 5th of April. So that'll be Sunday the 5th of April. This is a gi only event. It's going to be held again at the usual place, Scotstoun Leisure Centre in Glasgow. So yeah, as I mentioned, gi only event. So obviously they're going to have juveniles, going to have adult division, masters, and obviously the seniors division as well. So obviously absolutes are going to be on, so there's going to be some absolute prizes as well. So again, James and Gary will keep everybody updated through both Scottish Grappling page and the Scottish BJJ community page. So hi guys, welcome to StoomCast. So today I'm joined by a very good friend of mine, Patrick Rowan. Patrick Rowan is a blue belt fighting out of GB Dundee, under obviously Valentine Duke and Darren Clark. Patrick, being a blue belt, he's again had a phenomenal 2019 to the point where he won, or he was chosen as the first male breakthrough fighter of the year for 2019, which was an absolute phenomenal thing. Obviously there was quite a few people in the running, but as I said, the 4 judges decided to go with Patrick because obviously Patrick has been a blue belt. He's out there, he's putting his neck on the line every single time. So yeah man, it was good to have Patrick, the first breakthrough fighter of the year. Hopefully this year he's going to go for the top one, the male fighter of the year. I know we spoke about that when we presented. So but obviously I mean, it's an exciting time for the blue belts, or for jiu-jitsu at the moment. I mean, there's a lot of guys out there, as you know, Patrick. I mean, me and you had a conversation about this the other night. There's quite a lot of you guys out there at blue belt that are absolutely killing it in competition. So obviously yourself, Darren Ferguson, obviously representing the older guys, the masters, but obviously still doing it in the adult division. Exactly. And obviously a number of people, which I'm pretty sure we'll mention throughout the call anyway. So yeah, it's been a while. I've been trying to get Patrick on for I don't know what, best part of maybe 6 months. Yeah, so I'm glad we finally got you. So Patrick, thanks very much for obviously taking the time to speak to me.
No bother. Thanks for having us on.
Yeah,
thanks for the award as well. That was like a really big thing for me.
Yeah. Okay, it was. I mean, as I say, when I did the awards, obviously I kind of sat down and said, there's obviously a lot of good guys out there, and females, so male and females at every level. So obviously picking a winner, what the 4 judges did was kind of sat down and said, okay, who do we think? So we all drew up our own list. And as I say, there was a couple of names kind of stood out, breakthrough fighter of the year, and then obviously once the kind of judges kind of sat down and spoke about it, they decided obviously you. So it was an absolute pleasure to present you with it when we did. So yeah, fingers crossed obviously for this year as well. I know you were out. I know you were out in the Euros. Obviously, had a good few fights at the Euros. So so yeah, I mean, for you, what kind of got you into jiu-jitsu? And when did you start?
I've always had a big fascination with combat sports, or just combat in general, really. Ever since I was really, really young, I was just fascinated by it. And then as I got older, I started getting into like the UFC and stuff. But I never really stepped outside my comfort zone. Like, I never really had a reason to think, oh, I'm going to start MMA or I'm going to start jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
But I'd been going to the gym for quite a few years. I was quite big at this point, and I was at a party with my mate who was in the Marines. And they do a wee bit of jiu-jitsu in the Marines. So he kind of challenged us to be submission match in front of everyone. And I was thinking, I'm going to smash him.
Yeah.
He ended up choking us out twice in front of everyone. It was so embarrassing. I was like, I need to learn how to do that, because I felt totally helpless, whereas I didn't really think it was possible to feel like that.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
I think everyone that trains can relate to that.
Yeah.
It's like whenever you start, you're so out of your depth. It's not like you can just strength everything. You can go against a wee guy that's like a brown or black belt, and they can just absolutely play with you. So
yeah,
that's really that's what lit the fire, really. And then I was on the bus one day coming back from the gym, and my mates got on the bus, and I was like, "Where are you?" And they said they just started jiu-jitsu. So that then and there, I was like, "Right, I'm coming along with you next week."
Yeah.
And I started it, and I mind the first time row, and it was just straight away, I was addicted to it. So yeah, that's how I got started, and I've not looked back since. Yeah,
I mean, jiu-jitsu, I mean, is one of them things. I mean, I always remember my first day when I started, and I remember getting paired up with, now at this point I was 127 kilos, so and when I went in, I remember obviously they did the king of the mat at the end, and I remember this young boy, must have been about 13, must have weighed about 40 or 50 kilos, very, very small. And we had to start from the mount position. So the wee guys got on top of me in the mount, and I could not get this boy off me. And I'm like, I'm 3 times his weight, and I couldn't move him. And I'm thinking, how in the fuck can I not move this kid, man? He's only 13.
It's mind-blowing, is it?
Yeah, man. And then obviously he'd been doing it for maybe a couple of years, so he kind of knew. Obviously his base was good, his balance was good, and that was me. I was kind of thinking, do you know what I mean? This is brilliant. And again, same as you thought, I need to know more about this stuff. Do you know what
exactly.
I mean? And it's kind of mind blowing when you do, but I mean, especially when you see the kind of higher level guys, when they're going at it, you watch it in the UFC, or you see it at the competitions, the Euros or whatever, and you see these guys going, and I sit there thinking, in my head, I'm thinking, am I ever going to be that good? But you know yourself, I mean, the more you go, the better you get, and the more you keep going, you're just going to get better and better and better all the time. So
I could never really have imagined myself even getting to blue belt level, or even competing, even winning a tournament. That was totally out with my imagination, really. It's just about having the ability to stick with it, I think. I mean, that's really the most important thing to jiu-jitsu, in my opinion, is just sticking with it, because you're going to get good over time. So
definitely. I mean, it's jiu-jitsu is tough. I mean, it's, and I can't remember, I seen a post the other day, and the guy was talking about jiu-jitsu will be the toughest thing that you'll ever do in your life, but it's also one of the most rewarding things that you'll ever do in your life.
Definitely.
And it is, I mean, the guys that are out there training, whether you train 1 day a week or 6 or 7 days a week, do you know what I mean? It's just as tough. But as you said, it gets not easier, I wouldn't say easier, but it gets better.
It gets more addictive. I tell guys that all the time. It seems to be the only thing that seems to get better the more you do it.
Yeah.
Most things you get bored of after a while, but I think jiu-jitsu, once you've got more tools to play with when you're rolling with people, the more fun it becomes. Yeah.
Oh, definitely. And where was it you first started then? So obviously you mentioned you met your friends on the bus. So what was the first gym you trained at?
So it was Dundee MMA.
Yeah.
So I went along there, and it was the way they used to do it. They only had 2 classes a week at this time, because really jiu-jitsu's just sort of exploded a wee bit in Dundee. I think people have realised that it's more popular than MMA, but at the time there was only 2 classes a week. And the coach Billy, the way he wanted to do it was have 1 day technique and 1 day rolling, just so he could get through quite a lot of details, really. So the first class I went to was the rolling class, and man, it was crazy. Like, a few people told me a couple of moves to do, but there's no chance of getting it.
Yeah. It's tough. I mean, especially first class being a rolling class. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Walking
Do you know
in
what's
there.
funny though is must have been my first year pretty much. I was quite bad for avoiding the technique class. I got a wee bit bored and stuff with technique. Like,
Yeah.
see, whenever I train, to be honest, I just like the roll, or I like to do a wee bit of technique. I'm not really one of those guys that can just drill for hours.
Yeah.
I kind of want to go in, roll hard every single day.
Yeah.
So yeah, I avoided the technique class for a while, so that stalled my progress quite a lot the first year.
Mm-hmm.
And it was only when I done my first competition at about a year in that I realised, look, I need to start like putting more into this.
Yeah.
I need to start learning the moves itself rather than just going and try to scrap with everyone.
Yeah. And then, so how long have you been doing jits now?
It's just over 2 years, so probably about 2.5, I would say.
Yeah.
I got my blue belt start of summer, so yeah, about 2.5 years.
Nice. And then obviously you, I mean, again, you mentioned obviously the Dundee MMA only had a couple of classes. There was obviously, I know there's jiu-jitsu gyms kind of surrounding areas of Dundee and stuff, or maybe not jiu-jitsu, but MMA gyms in surrounding areas to Dundee. So you pretty much been, well, with the explosion of jiu-jitsu, obviously we Darren coming in and Valentine coming in and really putting jiu-jitsu in the map in Dundee. You've been pretty much around since the start then of that explosion, should I say?
Sort of, like, it's kind of weird because there's loads of guys in Dundee that have been training, like, I think Billy's been training like 20 odd years.
Yeah.
Another guy, Barry Lewis, been training about 10 years, same way you and Sloan and all that. But
yeah.
Really, I think everyone was more MMA focused, but I think over time people realise that getting punched and kicked in the head's not that fun.
Yeah.
And jiu-jitsu is really fun.
Yeah.
So I think that's why it's kind of exploded recently. And obviously Darren's had a big part to play in that because it's crazy, man. See the amount of people he gets in.
Yeah.
It's mad. Like, we've got, like, I think it's every couple of months or whatever, there's like a big new batch of beginners joining. And Dundee's not a big city, it's quite small, so every single time I see that, I'm just amazed.
Yeah.
It's really good to see, man.
Definitely, yeah. And then one of the kind of stories, I remember talking to Darren Ferguson, and he was saying the first time he met you was at a comp down south.
Yeah, the British Open.
Yeah, so he said obviously you were down there, and obviously the two of you kind of got chatting and stuff like that, and you and Darren, and not just Darren as well, but obviously Ryan Kelly, we mentioned him earlier, and then obviously some of the other guys, but you guys have got a really close bond.
Big time, yeah.
Whenever you're either going to comps or even in training, we obviously see you guys doing videos on Facebook and stuff like that of different moves and stuff like that. So how close is the bond between you guys then?
Oh, really close, man. I think it all starts from, I think whether it's a business or whether it's a jiu-jitsu gym or whatever, everything starts from the top and it trickles down. So the way Darren is, he sort of built a gym where it's like a family atmosphere. Everyone's really tight-knit with each other, like dead close. And I think that trickles down all the way.
Yeah.
And especially guys like me, Ryan Kelly, Dan Ferguson, Luke and all that, Kevin Loban, we all like to compete. We're all sort of a similar age. We like to train hard all the time.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're really good pals. Same with everyone here. Like, everyone gets along really well. So it's a brilliant place to train.
I mean, GB, I remember GB when I trained at GB, as I said, I was at GB for, 3 years. And obviously, unfortunately, I had to leave. But Gracie Barra, obviously, it was that train like a team, fight like a family slogan. Do you know what I mean? So everybody was a family. Wherever you went in the world, if you had a GB rash guard or a GB gi, GB bag or whatever GB you had, you can go to any GB gym in the world and you'd be welcomed in like a family member. Do you know what I mean? So
big time. Like, even at comps, people coming up to you and shaking your hand and that, and you're like, I don't know if I know them, but I think it's just going to their GB guys as well, so I'm still getting used to that, but it's really, really good to see, man. That's what you want as part of a team.
Oh, definitely. I mean, I used to, that's what I used to enjoy. I used to love, when I first started doing jiu-jitsu and going to comps and stuff like that, was always like getting out and meeting people. Do you know what I mean? Just meeting
Yeah.
random people and sitting talking to people that are maybe from other countries or from other gyms or whatever, and then just chatting, and then they would invite you, like, Stuart, come on down and train at our gym whenever you're down. And I mean, I went to a few gyms throughout, like, Scotland and England and all that, where I've just went and trained with people that I've met at competitions. And obviously some of these people are some of my very good friends now. So
Exactly.
so again, is that something for you that's important, that you've got that ability if you do go to anywhere else, and they've got a GB gym, you can go in and obviously train with these guys?
Oh yeah, big time. I'm just looking to train everywhere, to be honest. Like, in terms of my own jiu-jitsu, I'm just looking to be a sponge. I'm wanting to try train with as many people as I can.
Yeah.
Just take in as many experiences, learn as many techniques. So yeah, I want to train with everyone pretty much.
Yeah.
I'm hoping someday to come through to your gym for like an open mat session or something.
Yeah, listen, you guys, you
have you guys over here, stuff like that, because that's what it's all about, is bouncing off each other.
Yeah.
That's how everyone brings the level up in Scotland so much.
Yeah, and that's what I enjoyed about, see, with the Euros. The Euros was brilliant because obviously
man, it's class.
all you guys went out to the Euros, and I remember I was like, obviously putting the results, obviously how the guys were getting on in different matches and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? And there was that buzz, because obviously Scotland, I mean, we're a small country. Do you know what I mean? We're a big country, but we've not got a lot of people, and I think there's like 4 or 5 million people in Scotland. So and I remember putting it online how people got on. This person obviously won their first fight, second fight, won a medal or whatever, and the buzz about it was absolutely brilliant. And it was all different gyms. It was Gracie Barra, it was the Grip House, obviously Marcus Nardini, you had SBGs, Gold Team, so everybody was absolutely buzzing. Checkmate Edinburgh, CVA, and it was an absolutely brilliant buzz. And I remember saying that what we should do as a country, as maybe get together and have, if we are going to
like
the Euros,
training camp sort of thing.
Yeah, if we're going to the Euros or the Worlds or whatever competition, if there's going to be a load of people, is to try and maybe like one Sunday come to my gym, Marcus's gym, another Sunday go to Darren's gym or go to the Grip House, and just get it so that everybody, although we are different teams, but we're all part of the same jiu-jitsu community in Scotland. We're very, very close.
Yeah. We were all talking about that as well, even at the Euros. We were just saying that.
Yeah.
It's definitely something we should do, because we're a small country, and I think we're sort of looked upon as like underdogs as well. Yeah. So it's really good going to stuff like this and being able to shock people, being able to beat like good level Brazilians, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And there was a brilliant buzz actually at the Euros as well. Yeah. Like meeting up with everyone supporting each other. Yeah. Guys like Ben Fletcher as well, who was going out his way to corner everyone.
Yeah, I heard that. I heard
really
that
trying his best to help everyone. It was brilliant, man.
Mate, I heard that
really
about Ben. So
really sound guy.
See, that was the thing. I mean, the Euros are a funny one. I mean, it's the same as the Worlds, but ringside or mat side, you can only have a black belt on the mat side. Do you know what I mean? So like, obviously, like you couldn't have like me coming down and cornering you, or do you know what I mean, Darren Ferguson or whoever. Has got to be a black belt. So obviously for Ben Fletcher to obviously go out his way and try and corner as many people as he could is absolutely brilliant.
He was doing it all day, man.
Yeah, and that just shows you, man. That just shows you again. Ben's a CVA guy, but I know Ben's the same. Do you know what I mean? Like Scotland, I mean, we're all from different teams, but do you know what I mean? As a Scottish jiu-jitsu community, we're very, very close.
Exactly. I mean, I don't think there's any room for politics, to be honest. Like, it's a small sport as it is. Like, I want to see everyone do well, not just people on my team. I want to see guys from all across Scotland do well. So yeah, something like that was brilliant, man.
Definitely. And then for you, then, what was your first competition?
My first competition was the inter-club competition for Origin in Newcastle.
Yeah.
So DMMA comes under Origin, and that's how we get graded. So it was like a grading day and an interclub. And I posted a video of it the other day, actually. So it was 18 months ago.
Yeah.
And I was absolutely terrible. Like, so bad. I didn't know what I was doing at all. It was just funny to look back upon, really. And I was showing it to the newer guys that have just joined us, and a wee bit nervous about competing. And I was saying to them, I was like, look how bad I was.
Yeah.
That's how you make the big improvements, is going outside your comfort zone and competing. So
yeah. So obviously with that one then, so that was your first taste of competition. What was the kind of things that went through your head when you were getting ready to go into the mat, or even the build up to it? What was going on in your head?
Man, I was kind of used to getting like pumped up and that for going to the gym and stuff. So I was down in a tin of Red Bull right before I went on. I didn't have any nerves on that night, but I went and stepped on the mat, and as soon as we kind of shook hands, and do you know that feeling when you both grab each other and it's not like chilled like it is in the gym? You feel as if they're trying to kill you.
Yeah.
So I just went pure fight or flight mode. The whole thing was a wee bit of a blur. I never got tapped, but he basically just smashes on points.
Yeah.
But I mind standing up at the end for the ref to raise his hand, and honestly, like, everything went dead bright, and I thought it was a way to collapse, just big adrenaline dump.
Yeah.
Man, it was intense, and I was like, I don't know how people can do this like 5-6 times throughout the day.
Yeah.
I'm just mind blown with that. But again, it was like a trigger for an addiction as well.
Yeah.
So now I'm addicted to competing, and it all started from that moment. I just knew straight away that was one of the most hard things I've done. But it was one of the most rewarding things.
Yeah. Definitely. I mean, that's what I always loved competing. I mean, I remember my first competition, went down to Liverpool, and I've got this thing where if I'm fighting somebody, and I know a lot of people don't do this, but I go on Facebook, I want to know what my guy looks like. I want to know anything about him, so when I turn up, I know who it is I'm fighting, and I can go and say to them, oh, it's me and you fighting in about half an hour. Are you ready for this? Do you know what I mean? So just to get that wee, because it's like a mind game. Do you know what I mean? Just to play, yeah, man, just to play mind games. And I don't ever get nervous, right? I've never ever been nervous. I've always been like, do you know what? I'm going to go out there. I'm up for it. I'm going to go out and enjoy myself. Do you know what I mean? I know what my game plan is. I know exactly what I'm doing. I'm not even worried about what that guy's going to do. Right? As long as I go out there and do what I'm going to do, then I don't really care what anything else happens. And then
that's a perfect mindset, man.
Yeah, I mean, and I've always thought that. And one of the other things I thought as well was, if I'm going to a comment, I remember speaking to people that are nervous, and I'm like, well, what are you nervous about? And they're like, oh, I'm nervous about if I go out and get smashed and embarrass myself and stuff like that. Why? Do you know what I mean? There's no reason to be nervous about that, because at the end of the day, you're already doing more than, and again, we always say this, but you're already doing more than what the person sitting on the couch is doing. Do you know what I mean? So
exactly.
You're out there and you're putting everything on the line. So so it's good. Obviously, you get pumped up. You're ready to go. And I've seen you at a couple of comps, obviously in Scotland, and again, you're always like you're going about. You're happy. You're kind of mingling with folk and stuff
it's
like
funny.
that as well.
People say that to me. People always say to me, "Oh, you look dead chilled in that when you're competing, and you just look up for it." But up until the Euros, for every single comp, I've been like a nervous wreck, and I think especially at white belt, because I always felt as if I had a certain expectation, like I couldn't lose, I had to win. I felt as if everyone was expecting me to win. So I put a lot of pressure on myself, which caused me to get nervous. And then as soon as I got to blue belt, I mind my first blue belt comp, I felt as if I was totally free of any expectations, and then I went and won it. And so I done that, and then, but I still kept getting the nerves, especially at the Scottish comps, because everyone you know's there as well. But to be honest, the most important thing for me, I think, was doing. So I done the no gi Euros and I done the gi Euros. And since both of those comps, the biggest part I've taken away from it is the mental side of it. It's allowed me in a way to stop feeling as if I've got to win, and instead just feeling as if I've got to enjoy it. and you'll know yourself, like, the energy at the Euros is incredible. You see all the Brazilians going absolutely mental.
Yeah.
They're getting pumped up about to go on, and you sort of feed off that energy as well.
Yeah.
And I feel as if I've taken that sort of energy back with me.
Yeah, the Euros is crazy, man. It's loud and noisy, and I mean,
brilliant, man.
Anybody that has never done a comp, do you know what I mean? Just explain. You're walking in to that venue, Odi Veas, and you're walking in, Patrick. What was...
It's like an old firm match. Actually, is. They're all going mental, man. It's crazy.
Yeah. But it is when you've got guys from obviously Brazil, different parts of Brazil as well, like Sao Paulo, from Rio, from all over Brazil. Do you know what I mean? And some of these guys, the places they're from don't like each other anyway. Do you know what I mean? So, and it is, man, it's for a lot of people it can be intimidating, because obviously it's, as you know, all the seats are around, and then the actual match is down below the seating. Do you know what I mean? So when you're standing on the mats, obviously the noise, and again it's loud, and these guys are making a lot of noise, and it just echoes around the venue. So when you're stepping on, and I remember Marcos shouting instructions, and I'm looking over at him, I'm like, mate, I've got no idea what you're saying, man. I can't hear anything. But yeah, so yeah, for you, just explain. Obviously, you've walked into the venue. What are you feeling at that point?
So, I went there on the Monday for the white belts, just to get a feel for the atmosphere. Yeah. Meet up with guys like Jan and all that, and support him.
Yeah.
And I was watching it, and I was like, oh man, I'm feeling nervous already. Like, I don't know why I've not done this. Like, I sort of have a wee bit of regret.
Yeah.
But I came in the next day as well, and I met up with all the guys, and I missed some of the SBG guys that were on before us. But But they were kind of reassuring us. They were like, the level's not that much different from Scotland. Like, they're good, but it's the exact same, really. They're just like, the guys are higher level, but we're quite a good level as well. So that sort of reassured me a bit. Ben would tell you as well. Like, I just kept saying to him, I'm like, oh, I'm so nervous. Like, right before I went on, but as soon as we started going in the match, I just started enjoying it. I got into a bit of a flow state.
Yeah.
And I was just focusing on that match. And yeah, man, that's the thing. Like, it's like I heard the saying as well, the only thing I fear is fear itself. And that's so true, because when you get in there, there's nothing, you're not getting punched in the face. Like, the only thing you're worried about is the expectations and all that sort of stuff. But that's just all mental. So yeah, that's the way I felt on the day, and I absolutely loved it, to be honest. It was a brilliant experience. I'll be doing that every year for sure.
Yeah, but the nerves is definitely something. I mean, the nerves is because you're not nervous in your ability, because you know you've got the ability. You wouldn't be at the Euros if you didn't have the ability. Your coach, especially if you didn't have the ability, your coach is going to step in and say, do you know what? Maybe the Euros isn't for you, but what they do is start off, and that's why we start off at the smaller comps. We start off at the inter clubs, or like the local comps, Scottish, go down south, Manchester, Liverpool, wherever there's a local comp on, to then prepare us to then hit the IBJJF comps. Do you know what I mean? So by the time, so you're not nervous in your ability, you're not nervous in your technique, because you know exactly what you can do and what you can't do. The only nerves, as you said, comes from the pressure that you put on yourself, because you want to go out there and you want to win. You want to go out there and you want to take home a gold medal. You want to come back to the gym and you're the man. As soon as you walk in the gym with that medal, you're the man. So for me, always, as I said, it's always, I never had that, right? I think the only time I did have the expectation was when I went to the World Masters, because at that time I was riding quite a big reputation, because I'd won I think I'd done 7 comps and I'd gold in every one of them. And by the time I got to the Worlds, I'd never lost in my division in that 7 competitions. I'd won every single match. So I got out to the Worlds and everybody was like, even like the guys in my team, a few guys in Scotland and all that, like that, do you know what? He can actually do this. Do you know what I mean? Just this wee guy for Dundee. Do you know what I mean? Because obviously I was brought up in Dundee, so just this wee guy, 5'4", 100 kilo, super heavyweight, blue belt, is going to go over and win the World Masters, which at that point had never been heard of. So, and then obviously it was that pressure I put on myself thinking, and then by the time I stepped on the mat, it was same kind of atmosphere, it was like fucking crazy, and again you had all the older jiu-jitsu guys, you had, like, say, your Draculinos, you had Campido, you had a few of the Gracies, so you had all these guys. Kurt Osiander was there, and they were all at mat side watching, shouting on their guys and stuff like that. And then when I stepped on the mat, everything that I'd learned up until that point went completely out my head. Do you know what I mean? So
it's nothing worse, man.
I just went blank, and it was horrible. I remember the guy. I always remember thinking, this guy's never taken me down, and eventually got a takedown. He was judo black belt. He got the takedown eventually after like 3 minutes, and then there was a point where I could have swept him over and come up on top of him, but not that I wasn't quick enough. I never seen it.
A wee bit.
Yeah, I could have bottled it, but I never seen it. So the guy ended up winning 4-0, and then I remember him trying to choke me and all that. He couldn't do that. I remember him trying different things, and he then got me in north-south for the last maybe minute, and then just held me there. And I was thinking, no, and I could not get out of this north-south position. So for me, I think that was probably the one competition where I was like, do you know what I mean? Just not nerves, but just my mind.
I mean, I can totally relate. It's sort of the way I think of it is like, I'm a really, really competitive person. So when I'm thinking of competing, I'm not really focused on who I'm against. It's more about with myself. I'm like, am I going to stop myself from winning?
Yeah.
And I can relate to you in that way where it's like, see, most of my comps, I've been about half as good as what I am in the gym.
Yeah.
And it's just because I've bottled doing certain moves. Like, I won every single fight at white belt just by playing close guard.
Yeah.
And the reason I done that was I was kind of too scared to experiment with everything because I didn't want to lose.
Yeah.
And I was focused more about not losing rather than actually doing jiu-jitsu. So yeah, man, I was constantly like bottling stuff all the time.
Yeah.
And that's where the nerves can really affect you the most, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So it's recently where I've started kind of playing with more stuff, and that's what I'm hoping to take into competitions now.
Yeah.
Is I'm not going to be as nervous. I'm going to experiment with more stuff. Because at the end of the day, it's a bit of fun, is it? So
it is. I mean, some of the best fights that you've ever seen in jiu-jitsu has been stuff where guys have tried something for the very first time. Do you know what I mean? Or they've maybe learned a move literally 10 minutes before standing on the mat, and then they've pulled the same move off. And there's some of the best fights that you see where guys are just loose. Do you know what I mean? And they're just everything flows perfect. Now, not every match is going to be like that. Do you know what I mean? Some matches you get dragged into absolute fucking wars. Do you know what I mean? But definitely the ones where you're trying stuff for the first time is always a joy to watch. Do you know what I mean? So, and especially
I think the biggest thing is focusing on the process rather than the outcome. If you're just focusing on the win, you're not focusing on what you're doing. You're going to sort of be stagnant almost. You're going to just be tense and just trying the one thing.
Yeah, no, definitely. And then for you, then obviously you went from Dundee MMA to Gracie Barra. So when did that come about?
That would have been just after I got my blue belt. So I was still kind of training at Dundee MMA quite a lot. And Gracie Barra, because I messaged Darren and I was like, look, can I join your team? But I've got a lot of mates at Dundee MMA that I still want to train with. Is that cool? And he's like, yeah, that's no bother at all.
Yeah.
So I was doing that quite a bit, and then Gracie Barra Dundee opened their own gym.
Yeah.
And they've got a lot more classes on that it's a bit more flexible, if you know what I mean. So it suits me a bit better, so I'm predominantly just training there.
Yeah.
But I've still go to Dundee MMA sometimes and roll with guys.
Yeah.
Still keep in contact with everyone and that.
Yeah. No, definitely. I mean, obviously the Dundee MMA, I know obviously a few of the guys out of there, so definitely a good solid gym. Do you know what I mean? Really, really nice gym.
Oh yeah, big time.
And obviously GB, I mean Darren especially. I mean, Darren, again, I've known Darren for number of years, even before he was GB. And such a nice guy, really. Darren's very positive all the time.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So you'll never hear negative stuff coming out his mouth, whether it's on Facebook or even if you're speaking to him, he's always positive. So that's something, again, it's important for you to have that positivity around you all the time.
Oh, big time. Like, basically, see, when I got my blue belt, I heard quite a lot of people, they would say it to me. It wasn't in like a malicious way, but people would say to me like, "Oh, you're in for a shock at blue belt, and don't expect to win everything like you do at blue belt." And really, I was just thinking like, "Nah, I'm going to prove you wrong." I heard that quite a lot, and even when I started winning at blue belt, I heard from certain like quite higher up people. They're like, "Oh yeah, you're doing quite well in like the local comps and that, but because you're just focused on one thing, you're going to get found out when you go against like the top level blue belts." So that's kind of what motivated me to do stuff like the Euros, because I think in my head I've got the potential to be really good and be one of the top guys eventually winning the Euros and World Championships. If I put my mind to it. But obviously not everyone's seen that, and that's what I'm like, I don't know if I'd say negativity, but that can really affect you. Whereas I've noticed with guys like Darren, he's very encouraging, and he won't like you. He won't be like, "Oh yeah, I think you're going to win the Euros," when really he doesn't think you are. But he's very encouraging. Like, he sees the potential in you, and he'll be quite positive about it. And so that's a really big thing.
As I say, Darren's always been like that. I'd say ever since I'd known him, I'd say the pre-GB 5 days. So he's always had that positivity. I mean, Darren used to, as you know, Darren worked for full time, and then obviously we'd go out to work at maybe 6, 7 o'clock in the morning, and then he'd work till maybe 5 o'clock. Then he'd be in the gym from maybe 6 till 9 or 10 o'clock at night. He'd get up the road, get something to eat, see his missus, and then go to his bed, and he'd be up doing the same thing the next day. And he did this for years. Do you know what I mean? So and then obviously when he got up together with GB, he managed to then be able to give up his what he was doing and then put everything into jiu-jitsu, and it's been successful. He's been doing well. I mean,
it's impossible not to respect that either. Like, imagine having the bottle to basically parts your job and then think, "Oh, I'm going to do jiu-jitsu full time," especially in Kirkcaldy, like, it's a tiny place. Like, even Dundee, like, I wouldn't even be confident that you could do jiu-jitsu full time in Dundee, but he's managed to do it. So I'm sure he had loads of critics himself. So he's managed to prove them wrong. So that's motivating for guys like me to really step out your comfort zone.
I mean, Darren did. I mean, Darren had a few critics, but again, the way Darren was like, "Do you know what? We'll see what happens." Do you know what I mean?
Exactly, that's always going to happen.
And I mean, Darren,
whenever you do well.
I mean, you guys, the team that Darren's got under him, obviously the guys in Dundee, the guys in Fife and stuff like that. I mean, the team is absolutely brilliant. I mean, you guys won, I think it was at the 3rd place at the comp in November.
The Glasgow comp.
Which, and again, obviously GB Dundee, even GB Fife, still relatively in its infancy. So, so for you guys to go out and obviously take that 3rd place, and as I said, I think there was obviously Dan was GB was 3rd place. I think CVA Jiu-Jitsu was 2nd place, and the Grip House was 1st. Do you know what I mean? So that's a big thing. And I remember Marcos when he won I think it was the 2nd or 3rd place or whatever it was for the first time, was a massive thing for Marcos, and then obviously you're just building from there. So there's definitely a lot of good guys coming out of obviously Dundee and Fife that we're going to hear more of in the future. So
that's what I really liked as well about Darren's approach as well. Like, you don't need to be part of Gracie Barra and compete. That's not the way it is at all. But you will encourage people and give them the motivation to step outside their comfort zone and compete. So like, if you're going to a competition and you're by yourself, because I've experienced this loads of times. Until I joined GB, I was going to comps and I was like the only guy. I was like a one-man army.
Yeah.
So see, having a massive team with you and everyone supporting each other and encouraging each other, like that's what keeps you loving competing. So that's like a really big thing for me. Which I like what he's doing.
Yeah. And that's where I relate to you, because obviously for me, when I was at GB Dundee, I would travel to comps myself, and I remember going to the World Masters all the way over to Vegas myself. Do you know what I mean? So, so obviously that's where I can relate to you. Obviously, going to comps and not having anybody in your corner shouting instructions to you. I remember I used to go on the mat and I'd be fighting, and I would be listening to the person I'm fighting's coach to hear what they're telling them to do, and then I would fucking do it as well. Do you know what I mean? So that's how I used to win fights, by listening to their coach. So yeah, listen, I can completely relate to that. And then obviously that takes us on to the British, as when you first met Darren. Because again, you were down at the British yourself again. You were on your own.
I had two of our mates from Dundee as well, but it was like their first competition. So I convinced them to come as well. But yeah, it was us three, and then we met Darren Ferguson there.
Aye. And then what was your first thoughts of Darren? Because Darren's a character. Darren's a brilliant guy, man. He's very energetic, and he's he's a total like go ahead. If he sees a big challenge like that, he gets up for it. And I think with me, especially at the time, do you know when you really want to win something really badly? The British was like the top goal for me at white belt. I knew I was going to get my blue belt kind of soon. I was training long enough, and I was like tapping out a lot of really good guys. So I sort of knew it was coming, and I wanted to cap off my white belt journey with that. So I was feeling the nerves a lot, man. It's like you're in a different place. You're wanting to win. I used to do what you used to do, was search on Facebook. So I was doing that with guys, and I'm like, oh, these guys look really, really good. And that starts playing in your head a wee bit. But Darren Ferguson, like I seen him on the warm up mats, I was like, a bit nervous. He was just getting me up for it. He had the Braveheart tunes on. He was jumping about. He's like, look, you're a Scottish champion. You're going to smash these boys. So that's what I needed. That gave me a bit of a kick up the arse, and I went out there and done my thing. So ever since then we've been really good mates. Even before I joined GB, we were travelling down England as well. To do loads of like the local comps down there. Especially when we just got our blue belts, like we were banging them out, man, like every other week. So yeah, that was really good times. Darren's very, very energetic. As I said, Darren's brilliant though. Obviously, I've obviously spoke to Darren on a previous podcast, and obviously had the pleasure to obviously spend some time with him both in the gym and outside the gym. So, but Darren's someone else, man. Really, really nice guy. And then you mentioned the Braveheart tunes. He was talking about that as well. He said, Stuart, see when I go in, I've got Braveheart tunes playing in my earphones. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, yes, getting ready to go out and kill somebody. Do you know what I mean? So,
well, do you know what? That sort of thing rubs off on people around you. So with me as well, that's helped me get pumped up for the competitions. I'm like, look, I'm going to do this. I'm going to go smash these guys.
Definitely. Oh, brilliant. Aye. Darren Ferguson. So then, so you give us an idea then from last year, because obviously we voted you StoomCast Breakthrough Fighter of the Year. So what was your kind of highlights from 2019 then that got you to that Breakthrough Fighter?
Oh, there's loads. So I'll start off with the first competition in 2019. It would have been the West of Scotland Open at white belt. Just done the Hicks and Gracie in 2018. Got to the final, and I got beat by a boy that was so much better than me, technique wise. Yeah, I think he trains with you actually, Joseph Donnelly. I don't know if he's still training, to be honest. I've not really seen much of him on social media about training, but he trained with you for a bit. He used to train in like Paisley or something.
Yeah, I know Joe, yeah. I've not
But,
seen Joe, yeah. I don't think he's training at all.
But man, he outclassed me totally in that match. So he was in my division for that, the West of Scotland Open, and I was it was like a battle with myself. I wanted to prove that I've gotten that much better that I can beat him.
Yeah.
So I beat him. It was a boring match, to be honest. I just held him in close guard and had a few submission attempts. So I think he won by a couple of advantages, but that was like a big thing for me. So I think, what else? So the next big thing was probably the Edinburgh Open. So I won my division, got gold in that in the gi, and then it was the gi absolutes. And I got to the final. I submitted quite a few good guys in that division. I got to the final, and it was Christoph from the Grip House. The big Polish guy. And at the time, I think he was like ranked #1 white belt in the UK or something. He was just absolutely smashing people. He was like the very, very top guy at white belt. So I went in there, I'm like, oh, look, at least I'm getting a silver in the absolute, so that's not a bad thing. And I went in there, I beat him, I got a few sweeps on him. I think I got a mount or took his back or something, so I ended up winning 6-0, no, 6-2, because I went and pulled guard later on in the match, and he touched my leg and got a takedown point. I think you were ref in that match actually, but that was like a big thing for me, because that gave me the confidence going into the British. I'm like, look, I just beat the best guy at a white belt in the UK. I can win the British. And then I went out to the British, won my first match, and see, throughout this time, the biggest problem I've had in competition, apart from the nerves and that, is more sort of gassing out, which I suppose comes from the nerves. When you've got adrenaline going, you gas out a lot quicker. So I could roll quite a lot in the gym, but in competition, I'd been knackered after one match. So I kind of felt that in the British. I was gassed after every match, but I kept going and ended up winning that, and that was the biggest thing for me by far, because I kind of knew I could win the British, but at the same time, I don't know if I really believed in myself. So I done that. Got my blue belt, which I know most people are buzzing when they get their blue belt, but for me, I'm really not interested in belts or grades at all. It just doesn't really excite me at all. It's just, for me, it just depends what level I compete at. So I got my blue belt. I heard a lot of people say sort of negative stuff, like about me not doing well at blue belt and you're going to get found out and stuff like that. And then when I won my first comp at blue belt, that was another big thing. And then I was thinking, nah, I've just fluked it. So I done a few other comps, ended up winning them. And then I started really kind of believing in myself. And it was at that sort of point where I started actually doing other jiu-jitsu moves apart from just close guard. So I learned what De La Hiva was at blue belt, and I started doing stuff like that, and now I've got a bit of a game behind me. And then I went and done the no-gi Euros, won my first match, and then got beat by the European champion, a giant guy from Ukraine who's just an absolute monster. But I held my own against him, and I watched other guys in the division that were like top drawer. They ended up getting like bronzes and stuff. This big Ukrainian guy just smashed them in seconds, submitting them. I was thinking, I done better than they did. So that gave me confidence as well. So from that October point, I sort of realised, look, I've got the gi Euros in January. I'm going to properly put everything into this. I'm going to try to learn as much as possible, train as much as possible. And like Darren even said to me a few times, like, you need to slow down. You're training all the time. You're going to burn yourself out. And he's right. But really, see, from that point up until the gi Euros, that was the best improvements I've made in my game by far. Towards the end of the year at blue belt, like even more than any improvements I made at white belt. So really, it was just stepping up to that high level that made me step up as well.
And then what weight is it you fight at?
I'm medium heavy. But I've competed at middleweight and competed at heavyweight, so I've been all over the place.
So you're what, under 88 then? So predominantly under 88.
I'm under 88, but I sit at about 82 kilos.
Right.
To be honest.
And you never fancy going the under 82?
No, so I won the under 82 Scottish Cup at white belt. I submitted another really good guy from your gym. Russian guy.
Alex, yeah.
Yes, I triangled him, and
Yeah.
he was phenomenal, man. He was smashing people that day, and his record was brilliant as well. So,
Yeah, yeah.
I beat him, but to be honest, I didn't feel good at all that day. I felt horrible. I just felt drained. I had no gas tank whatsoever.
Yeah.
I hadn't had breakfast and all that. I just thought, nah, it's not worth it. I didn't feel on an advantage at all from cutting. I never ever feel outstrengthed by anyone I really roll with, to be honest. That's not being cocky. And I think people will tell you the same, like, when I roll, I feel really strong. I can't deadlift a lot, and I can't really lift that much, but I've just got that isometric strength, so I'm never really outstrengthed by people. So I thought, well, I'm best just competing at my best level. So that's medium heavy, that's where I sit, so I'm just like, I'll just compete. Nice. I don't mind about weight either, I'll go against anyone. Could be an ultra heavy, like, whatever.
And then, when you're getting ready for comps, what's your preparation? Obviously, apart from rolling in the gym, obviously doing classes and stuff like that, what other things do you like to add in to kind of help you?
So, with me, I'm kind of addicted to just hard training in general. So whether that's lifting weights, rolling quite hard. I'm not just like, I've got a comp coming up, I need to start training hard now. I'm doing that every single day pretty much, year round. So I'm doing that quite a lot. But I would say the only thing that I really change is, so right now I'm sort of experimenting with new moves and trying to bear on bowl people in classes and stuff like that. But as it comes to maybe like a week before the competition, I'll start just doing the stuff that I know I can do really well. So that's the only thing that changes.
That's fair. And then obviously for you, the future then, so what big competitions do you see or do you want to do? So what competitions have you got planned this year?
So since doing the IBJF comps and seeing the level of the guys, that's the only thing that really excites me now. To be honest, so I'm wanting to bang out quite a few IBJF comps this year. So I'm doing London the end of this month with Gary Muir from Jack's MMA, who's another really, really good blue belt. We're doing that on the Saturday and then going to Manchester on the Sunday and competing. So we're doing that, and then I've got Poznan in Poland, March. Doing the Irish Nationals, the British Nationals, and another IBJF one in London. Hopefully
October time.
Nogi Euros, or maybe the Nogi Euros. Then obviously after that in January, I'll be looking to do the Gi Euros again.
So obviously, so for you, you're still going to do like or try and get in maybe local competitions, or are you just vision now IBJJF?
I'm going to try. I'll probably be a bit skint, like, because I'm at university just now and I just work part time. So the university are great though because they actually sponsor us. So
nice.
They help fund me go to these places. But you can go through money quite quickly with these comps. So
definitely.
I'm starting to do PTs now as well in the gym, so that's going to hopefully raise funds so I can do even more. And if the funds allow it, I'll definitely do local comps. I'll compete any week. To be honest, I just love competing. So it could be any competition, man. I would do it.
And then what is it you're doing at uni?
Nutrition.
Right. So again, that's something.
Second year of that.
So again, that's something obviously that you're right into then, obviously nutrition, because obviously you walk around and again you're in very, very good shape when you see yourself going about. Obviously you've got a good kind of posture and things like that, so again nutrition, I take it's important for you. Do you help the guys out in the gym with their nutrition and stuff like that if they did ask?
It's just always something that's interesting me. Like before starting jiu-jitsu, I started going to the gym when I was like about 16 odd, and I was dead skinny like when I was younger. So I started going to the gym, getting bigger and all that, and I started to love that. And obviously the biggest part of that is the nutrition side. So I've just always had an interest in it, and especially now as I get older, I'm more interested in like the health aspect. rather than just being the biggest guy. So yeah, that's something I'm really interested in. I try to give guys advice and stuff. I don't want to tell them what to do or that, but I'll offer them any sort of advice that I've got to do them in nutrition, because that's the biggest part as well when you're competing. You can't be like eating rubbish all the time and expect to have good cardio when you compete. So
and then obviously you mentioned obviously you're not really worried about, well, obviously you've got a weight division. There's always weight divisions for a reason, but you're open to pretty much roll with anybody. So as I say, you mentioned obviously a couple of people, Arouge, I know Arouge fought Darren and beat Darren, but obviously you're quite keen with a fight against Arouge. Obviously you mentioned, I think it was Jed at Fair City. He's another top guy, he's really good. Yeah, I rolled with him, he just smashed us. So just any good guy. Like for me, I've never really thought of weight as a big deal, but I know some people do. I struggle the most with the smaller guys, to be honest, than I do the bigger guys. So like even guys, like I wouldn't want to call out a smaller guy like that, but I'm just like a fan of loads of people's jiu-jitsu in Scotland that I've seen them compete. Like even that Callum Burke as well, he's another phenomenal talent. Rouge, that Mark you mentioned as well, European champion, he's phenomenal, man. There's loads of good guys I want to go against, and that's the thing for me is when it comes to like SGI and that, I'm at a point now where I don't really care about winning. I just care about going against the best people and just enjoying it. Getting yourself out there. Yeah, exactly, that's so, it. But there's a lot, I mean, as I mentioned earlier, I mean, there's always been, like, every new batch of blue belts, they always go on, and there's always a few guys that stand out, right, throughout jiu-jitsu, and the whole time I've been doing jiu-jitsu, there was always a few good blue belts or a few good purple belts, whereas at the moment, you guys at blue belts, are, at the blue belt adult, there's a lot of good guys at blue belt in Scotland.
It's crazy.
There's not a couple, like there used to only be like maybe 2 or 3, whereas at the moment, as I say, you can rattle off 10 names of blue belts in Scotland that are of a high level, and could be looked at as potentially one of the best in Scotland.
Big time. Yeah, like I could definitely see guys like Rouge and Callum Burke and that going into competitions like the Euros or Worlds and possibly winning it. And that's the thing. It's not just even Scotland. It's blue belts in general. Like the level's so high. Those guys were asking me when I came back from the Euros what the level was like. I was just saying to them, like the adult divisions, even at blue belt, and they're all like full-time professional athletes. There's no sort of, the level's totally different. So see a guy that's maybe just a practitioner or he just wants to do it for a bit of fun. Like a blue belt like that is totally different from a blue belt that's doing the Euros. So yeah, man, it's crazy. Like the high level guys that are doing it. So
I mean, some of these blue belts, especially the adult blue belts, some of these guys are, well, they're going to be black belts one day, right? So some of these guys,
they look like black belts already.
So, but some of these guys are going to be European champions or world champions. You can already see that. I know that obviously, like Shea Montague was the kind of first adult to win a world championships. So when he did it, was absolutely phenomenal. I know Rick Young had done the Masters before that, but obviously when Shea won it, at that point, nobody had ever won a Worlds. I think the closest they got, now if I'm probably wrong on this, but was, I'm sure a bronze belt was the closest that anybody had got. And then when Shea done it, it was like people in Scotland started realising, well, hold on a minute, fuck's sake, we can go out and do this. Do you know what I mean? So obviously Shea's on a different level, right? But for Shea to go at it, and now you've got guys now, like say yourself and Mark McQueen. I know Big Mark's going out to the Worlds, or he's going to try and get out to the Worlds this year. Arouge in the future. You've got Jan. You've got obviously Jed, Callum Burke. These are guys that can use guys are the guys that can go out there and again potentially win the Worlds again. So I know obviously they had a fantastic Euros, Scotland as a whole. I think they brought back more medals this year than they'd ever brought back. And that's just going to push for next year as well, where obviously there'll be even more people going out next year, and next year will bring back a record amount of medals as well. So so is it important for you to be in that group of people, to be mentioned in that group of people? Obviously yourself, Farouz, Dan Ferguson and all these other people. So is it important for you to be a part of that conversation?
For me, like, they're all really good guys, but it's not something I'm really too interested in. I'm just like an ultra competitive guy, so I just want to win the biggest competitions that I possibly can. So
yeah,
I've never really been like that interested, to be honest, in like sort of super fights or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm just interested in going against like the best guys that I can and testing myself and proving to myself that I can beat them.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the thing, is like when you start going to these comps and people see you do quite well, that motivates them to start doing big comps like that as well. So yeah, next year we'll have an even bigger squad. Can't wait for it.
Oh no, mate, it's an absolute buzz. Do you know what I mean? I love this shit every time a competition comes up, man. So it's always buzzing. And then obviously we know that we spoke about, obviously you want to go against the best. I know you'd mentioned obviously a few people, Arouge, Mark McQueen, obviously Jed, Callum Burton, stuff like that. So if you had to pick somebody, let's say obviously if James McIntyre's listening and he's going to put a fight on, who would you want to see? Who's the one person you would want to go up against?
Oh, if he's listening, I would say a really cool idea would be maybe for next SGI having like a 4-man gi blue belt open weight tournament across the weight classes. So you could have guys like Callum Burke, Arouge, me, and you could have guys like maybe that Mark, who's obviously a huge guy, so it goes across the weight classes. Something like that would be really cool. But I don't know if everyone would be up for it. But to be honest, I think the skill set that impresses me the most is probably Arouge. I've seen him compete a couple of times. Like I've seen his flying triangle, the armbar he got the other day on his knee and belly, and he was just toying with the boy. Like I want to go against someone like that because I think that would bring my game up. But obviously there's like weight differences and stuff, so I don't know. But I'm up for anything, to be honest.
Nice. And then what we're going to see then for you in the future, in the next, let's say, 12 months? What we going to hope to see? What you hoping to achieve?
I'm hoping to win quite a few IBJJF titles. Like in London, Poland, Irish Nationals, British Nationals. Do the no-gi Euros again, hopefully. I'm alright no-gi, I'm not the best. I reckon I could be in with a shot of medaling though if I start training a lot more no-gi now. So I want to take home a medal at least. Same with next year, the gi Euros, I want to be in with a shot of winning that. I don't know, the thing about blue belt as well is it's your longest belt, is it? So could be a blue belt for 4 or 5 years. That's not unheard of. A lot of guys are. So I think I've got a long journey at blue belt. Listen, that's the goal. It's
going to be like it'll be a long journey, but it'll be an exciting one. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
So as you mentioned earlier, it'll definitely be a rewarding journey. I mean, some people can get a black belt in 3-4 years. Do you know what I mean? Other people it can be 10 years. But regardless if it's 3 years or 10 years or whatever the many years, man, it's going to be an absolute epic journey, as you know.
I mean, blue belt's a weird one as well, because like the guys that are winning the division and that, the Euros, they're blue belts, but that's only because they're 18. They've been training since they're wee kids, so really they're like, they've been training all length of time as a black belt, so I'm hoping I've got a long journey there so I can compete with these guys, but you never know what the future holds. So
definitely. And then obviously for you, if it wasn't for jiu-jitsu, right, so thinking about obviously jiu-jitsu, or even training when you started at 16, training obviously at the gym and stuff like that, if it wasn't for any of that, what would you more than likely be doing?
Oh man, I probably wouldn't be the happiest person because training in general is what I need to keep me sort of sane almost.
Yeah.
Man, I don't know. I suppose if you've not got anything outside of your work life for that, you would be chasing like career goals. But man, I don't know. Like, I couldn't even imagine now, to be honest. I think I would still be doing some sort of combat sport. Yeah. Eventually, I'd get into that. But yeah, I don't know, man. I'm really lucky. I found it.
Well, that's the thing, man. I mean, that was we spoke to a few people, and a lot of the times when they started jiu-jitsu, it was an off chance. Right? It wasn't like they've sat down and said, you know what, I'm going to go do jiu-jitsu. Whereas obviously you meeting obviously a couple of pals on the bus, had you got a later bus or they weren't on a bus or whatever, would you have got into jiu-jitsu at that time? Do you know what I mean? So
no, like, probably not.
It's like a fate thing. Do you know what I mean? Like you were destined to do it. Do you know what I mean? So, and that's happened with a few people. I mean, I'd done a podcast call with Matt Holland, who's a black belt from Gold's Gym in Elgin, and what he said was he was doing training. It was like 1998, but it wasn't really training. They were just going in and basically kicking the shit out of each other for an hour. Right, there was no technique involved. It was just basically they were going in and battering each other. So, and he said he was away with his work. So he used to travel about with his work, and he said he walked past this what looked like a shop. Right, it was just like a big. I think it was a blue front shop, but above it had Gracie Jiu-Jitsu, and he was like, oh, so he walked past the shop. And then he said he got about 100 yards up the road, and he said, no, I'm going to go back and see what this is. So he went back to it, and he got in and he started speaking to the guy in it, and signed up for jiu-jitsu that day. Now a black belt. Do you know what I mean? So, and that was
the thing. It's funny how these things happen.
Yeah, so he was, again, sometimes I'd say jiu-jitsu, we're destined to do it. Do you know what I mean? As I said, for you, it might not have been that point, but it would have been at some point. Do you know what I mean? So it's just
oh, definitely.
I'd say for us in Scotland, as I say, we just we're happy to have somebody like you in jiu-jitsu in Scotland. Do you know what I mean? That's going out there, that's putting himself on the line, and no caring who you're fighting against. Do you know what I mean? Just going out there and like being like, do you know what? It could be Henzo Gracie standing in front of me. Do you know what I mean? But I'm going to go out and do my best. Do you know what I mean? So
that's the thing as well with me. I'm kind of always sizing guys up. It doesn't matter what sort of bell level they are. I'm always thinking in my head, not it looks like an ego thing.
Yeah.
But just because I'm thinking to myself, like, can I beat him in a row?
Yeah.
I'll go find out, like, stuff like that.
Mate, I do that in Asda. I walk into Asda, mate, and I'm looking at guys in the queue, thinking, I can choke him, or I can armbar that guy, I can do this to this guy. Do you know what I mean? So, I do that in Asda, mate. And then, last thing for you then, Patrick, obviously, so anybody obviously you've had a couple of years, your journey's been a phenomenal one so far. So anybody that you want to kind of thank that's kind of helped you out throughout your journey?
Yeah, just there's been so many people that have helped us, from coaches that go out their way to help me and still do. So yeah, just everyone, even all my teammates as well, like guys we've all mentioned, like everyone has their own sort of individual way that they'll go out and try to help you, whether it's sending you videos of techniques and stuff, giving you lists of training, giving you lists of competitions, just loads of stuff, man. Everyone's there for you as well. That's the thing, like if you're having a bit of a rough day or that, like people will ask you like, oh, you alright and all that, they'll offer you support. So I'd just like to thank everyone that I've ever trained with, to be honest, because it's without them I couldn't do what I do right now. It's not like an individual sport where I can just train myself. Like, I've got to train with other people, so I'm grateful for everyone.
That was I can't remember who said it, but they always said that me in the gym I'm not the most important person in the gym. My training partners are. Do you know what I mean? Because, and again, as you mentioned there, if it wasn't for the hours and hours that you put in the mat with, like, say, Ryan Kelly or Kevin Loban, Dan Ferguson, Luke and all these guys, Valentine, Darren Clark, and anybody else, then you would never be at the level that you're at.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So
Definitely.
So
Definitely. You can't do it yourself. You need a good team around you. You need a lot of friends in the sport as well.
yeah.
It all helps.
Definitely. Well, listen, it's been a pleasure talking to you, Patrick. As I said, it's always a pleasure talking to you. Do you know what I mean? As I said, whether obviously that time I was up in Dundee or the time you came through to Glasgow, or even meeting each other at competitions. As I said, it's always a pleasure seeing you and getting a chat with you. Do you know what I mean? So hopefully, we're going to get some more training together over the next
definitely
over the next while, because I know that obviously you guys have got comps coming up, and obviously I know for me I've got a comp in April, and that'll be my first comp. And apart from the Euros, I think I done the Euros last year and I done the Euros the year before, but this will be me first comp apart from the Euros in a couple of years. Do you know what I mean? So buzzing for it. So you'll get to see me on the match, Patrick.
Yeah, can't wait.
Killing a couple of guys. Do you know what I mean? So I like to wind
dead bodies lying about.
Yeah, listen, I like to wind people up, right? I like to now if obviously if I'm fighting anybody in April that's listening to this, right, I'll just explain to you exactly what's going to happen. So basically, a few weeks before the fight, right, obviously once they figure out, obviously once the registration closes and we know who's going to be fighting and stuff like that, I like to then start sending messages to my opponents. Do you know what I mean? Just tell them, look, I'll be fighting you in April, I'm coming to get you. Do you know what I mean? I hope you're ready and stuff like that. And I keep that going for right up until the fight. I'll message them every day. I'll message them something every day, right? So see, by the time they get to the competition, they're like, this guy's been doing my boxing for 2 fucking weeks. Do you know what I mean? Or 3 weeks or whatever it is. So yeah, if any of my opponents are listening, if you see me in your division, then listen, it's going to be I'm going to terrorise you for 2 weeks before the fight. But it's all part of the fun, man. Do you know what I mean? As I said,
big time.
I look at it as what we do. It's enjoyable, man. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
So yeah, I mean, jiu-jitsu is boring as fuck at the best of times. Do you know what I mean? So I mean, you can go to a comp, man, and you can be watching like the whole comp, and it'll be the most boring thing for anybody to watch, and then suddenly you'll have this one or maybe a few fights throughout the day where it's phenomenal to watch. So for me, just to kind of spice it up a little bit, and do you know what I mean, create not an atmosphere, because at the end of the day,
I can't wait for this.
once the fight is over, we're pals again. Do you know what I mean? So but yeah, it's going to be an interesting build up to April anyway. So but yeah, listen, Patrick, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you again.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
No, listen, I'm glad we eventually got you on, so I'm definitely glad. So but listen, you keep training, buddy, alright? And then I'd say we'll catch up. I mean, I'm planning on coming up to visit family at some point, the end of the month, beginning of next month. So what I'll do is I'll make sure that I'm up whenever you guys are training, and we'll
yeah, that'd be brilliant to have you over.
We'll get some rounds in and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? Alright, buddy. Well, listen, it's been a pleasure again, and you enjoy the rest of your day, pal, alright?
Yeah, you too, man. Right, cheers for that.
Take it easy, buddy. Bye-bye.
Alright, see you.
So, guys, that was Patrick Rowan. As I said, Patrick Rowan is blue belt under Darren Clark, Valentine Duke at GB Dundee. As you heard there from Patrick, had a very, very good run through white belt, coming into blue belt. I'd say last year, named StoomCast's very first male breakthrough fighter of the year, so 2019. Very humble, very respectful as well. As you hear, he's still young. I mean, he's still a very, very young guy. Again, he's 2 years into his journey, and he's very, very respectful. Very respectful of the people he trains with. Very respectful of the people that he's coming into competitions with, and anybody that he meets throughout his journey. So very, very nice, respectful, young, humble guy. again, as he mentioned, he's not got that ego. Obviously, he's done comps. He's won obviously quite a few comps, and you see Patrick as well in the local paper, the Tully they call it in Dundee, so the Evening Telegraph, and you'll see him every now and again in the paper whenever he's won a competition. Darren Ferguson's a regular in the paper as well, so so it's always good to have somebody like Patrick in jiu-jitsu in Scotland, because it gives even like young guys coming through to see guys like that, to see guys like Darren Ferguson and Arouge and obviously Callum Burke, Jed at Fair City. So to see these guys, it gives obviously the younger guys coming up, white belts, to look at them and say, do you know what, I want to be like these guys. Same as when I come into jiu-jitsu, I wanted to be like, do you know what I mean, Hensel Gracie. Obviously I'm never going to be like Hensel Gracie, but I wanted to be like that. And then I looked at other guys where I was coming through, and I looked at people like Shaz Khan out the Grip House, and so he was like my kind of inspiration to look at and say, well, he's out there doing all these IBJJF comps, so I want to be like Shaz Khan. So yeah, obviously currently working my way through trying to be like Shaz Khan. We'll see one day if I get anywhere. Oh, I'm never going to get near him, but if I can get half as good as he is in competitions, then I'll be very, very happy. So I'd say for white belts to come up and see people like Patrick, it gives them some kind of inspiration to then push themselves to get to that same level. So Patrick's obviously only recently started doing IBJJF comps. IBJJF, Patrick, as he mentioned, is on under 88 kilo. So adult blue belt under 88 is a very, very tough division. I mean, I think anything from 70 kilos up to about 88 kilos is tough divisions, big divisions as well. I mean, a lot of people compete under these weight divisions, 70, 76, 82 and 88. And so yeah, listen, he'll get there. He's got that motivation. He's got the right, really, really good team around him. So he's got the right team around him. He's got in a coach, a professor, Darren Clark, one of the kind of most motivated guys that you'll ever speak to. Anybody that doesn't know Darren or hasn't met Darren, if you ever see Darren at a competition, just go up and say hello to him, and have a chat about jiu-jitsu. I mean, Darren is, for motivation, I mean, Darren's got a vision, and Darren will do everything in his capability plus more to reach his dreams. So that filters down from Darren through to obviously Darren's coaches, right through to obviously Darren's students and things like that. So which is a great thing to have, because if you're in a negative gym, then negativity is a bad thing when it comes to jiu-jitsu. But having that positivity, and listen, majority of gyms in Scotland are positive gyms, but yeah, Darren Clark definitely leading by example over in GB Fife and GB Dundee. So listen, Patrick, thank you very much again. Glad we managed to get you on. It's it took 6 months to get Patrick, and just because of scheduling and stuff like that. Obviously, whenever we were going to get him, he was maybe had something on, or I had something on. So we eventually managed to get him pinned down. So listen, thank you again, Patrick, and we're buzzing to see what you're going to do in the future, buddy. All right. So guys, listen, thank you very much for listening, and we'll see you on the next one.